Now for What's Hot, we're talking about the stories that have everybody talking.
And we are joined by John and Willow from ThirdCoast Digest at thirdcoastdigest.com and Tracy Johnson from Temple, Milwaukee. A German court has essentially ruled circumcision is not in a child's best interest. They say that procedure carries little, if any, health benefits and puts the baby's health at risk. Doctors that perform the procedure in Germany could be charged with causing bodily injury. Jewish people, Muslims are outraged, saying it violates their religious freedom. What do you think about that? I mean, it definitely is something that's part of culture and religion for certain people, and there's a whole ceremony involved in it.
Well, I think for us as Americans, where 60% of men are circumcised, and in Germany only 10%, this is really a difficult issue for us to think about. But as far as discriminating and with religious freedom, I think it should be up to the parents. And if they're looking at problems as far as causing bodily harm, they need to educate more doctors so that they're not causing injury.
I think the injury claims were allegedly inherent to the procedure itself in terms of the after effects. But what troubles me, what makes it so hard for me too, Tracy, is that as a question of personal and religious freedom, you want to say, you know what, it's up to the parents to educate, or to educate themselves, and it should be up to the parents. But female circumcision, which is also called genital mutilation, is much more severe. And it's much more ubiquitous in the lower continents and all throughout Africa. And we don't hesitate at all to try and put an end to that and to express our opinion of it. Yes, in this country, most boys are circumcised. It doesn't seem to cause a lot of health problems. And the World Health Organization, in fact, recommends it for a lot of what they feel are very sound reasons. But specifically addressing the question of religious freedom, it's kind of a gray area, because if you allow boys to be circumcised, then do you allow girls to be mutilated because of cultural and religious reasons? I think it's tough.
Okay, we'll leave topic number one right there. Coming up next, a teacher suing her former employer after getting fired. The ThirdCoast Digest. Tracy Johnson from Temple, Milwaukee, playing the role of Jeff Wagner today. Well, a Pennsylvania teacher fired after slamming her students in a blog. She's fighting back, claiming school administrators held her to an unfair standard. Phrases included utterly loathsome, lazy, frightfully dim, and then, of course, her blog went viral. Uh-oh. She says she shouldn't have been fired because the posts were meant to be anonymous. What do you think? Well,
she put up her own picture on the blog. She used her real first name and her real last initial. And it was, I don't know how that can be anonymous. She said that she thought it was, that she needed to do it as sort of a diary entry. And my advice is get a diary. You are a teacher. Your children care what you think, and the parents of those children, they're paying attention. You can't just go around and talk about people like that and then claim free speech. That's crazy. You're a leader.
It was a bad choice.
Oh, it's terrible. She shouldn't be able to teach just because she's not mature enough.
I think the administration made exactly the right choice. This woman was a cancer, and whether she has the right to free speech or not, she was cancerous for that school, and she should not be teaching. She says it's in her heart, but
leadership is different from the job I want and what I want to do with my life. You can do what you want to do with your life when you deserve to do what you want to do with your life. And if you take a leadership position, you're held to a different standard.
Put that diary in the nightstand.
Topic 3.
Despite some calls for a boycott, Kraft Foods may have bitten off just what it meant to chew when it posted a gay pride-themed picture of an Oreo cookie on Facebook. Thousands of people now saying they're not going to eat that famous cookie anymore, but thousands more like the campaign. Good PR strategy or no?
I think it's fun, and I think that as more and more organizations take a shot at depoliticizing something that really shouldn't be political, in my opinion, at all, I think that we're just going to eventually break down those walls. When AT&T posted the same thing, a similar thing, they had less than 20 comments. Unfortunately, Kraft has taken the picture off their page.
Well, I guess I'm surprised that a publicly traded company would put itself in a place where they could possibly alienate anybody. And I just found it surprising. I mean, you look at the numbers. This isn't something from a legislative standpoint that people are in support of. Do I think it's going to hurt the company? No. Do I think it's going to help the company? No. I think all of these boycotts that's going to go away. But I'm just surprised that a publicly traded entity would take this position.
I'm glad they did. I'm glad AT&T did as well earlier in the week.
I think a lot of people will share that sentiment, but a lot of people, as you saw, don't, and I think some people are confused.
On a lighter note, I think people will cave because it's an Oreo cookie and it tastes good.
And here's my problem with all of it. The ratio of cookie to cream filling totally out of whack.
I prefer the cream.
Can't have too much cream filling.
Double stuff is as far as you go. We'll take a quick break.
So.
We'll be right back.